Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and last night I was able to see A Haunting in Venice, which is the third of the new continuity of Agatha Christie adaptations. And first I just want to say I have not actually seen those first two adaptations, the new ones. I think I've seen the 70s or 60s version of Murder on the Orient Express, but either way, they're all self-contained stories, so it doesn't really matter if you've seen any of the other ones before. That's probably the good thing about, these just being individual mysteries. And yeah, this was definitely just like your classic whodunit kind of mystery. You're following, I don't know if he's a detective or an inspector or, this Poirot guy, this detective, mystery. He's just really famous for solving mysteries. I haven't seen the other movies. I don't know if he's necessarily a detective or just a PI or what his actual status is. But yeah, I will say, also I've never read any of these Agatha Christie books. I know that these are classic stories. I've heard the names of these stories before, but I've never actually looked into them. So I'm walking into this completely unaware of who any of these characters are, or who's about to die, or who actually ends up doing it. So it was just fun just to be here and not know exactly what's gonna happen, and sit here and try to solve the mystery as clues are presented to you. And yeah, it is just like your classic, murder mystery whodunit thing. And I will say this one has an added element that I believe the other ones don't have, in that they also kind of present this a supernatural kind of thing about it, right? Oh, are there ghosts in this house? Is there ghosts involved? Could this lady actually talk to the dead? Stuff like that. So, of course this is based in a grounded reality, so there's not supposed to really be any kind of supernatural elements, but they, at the very least, they kind of flirt with it. They kind of leave you on a, maybe if you want to believe that there was, I guess there could have been, but also we do have a logical explanation as to all the spooky stuff you saw. There was an explanation for it, so I actually really enjoyed that also. I think that this one is the only one that does that, I believe, because I definitely don't remember any any kind of supernatural stuff happening in Murder on the Orient Express. So I think this one is definitely more of this is like the Halloween episode. It takes place during Halloween, and it's just got that kind of, more spooky vibe to it, so it's not just a murder, it's also ooh, maybe ghosts. So I really enjoyed that also. And yeah, what can I say, without any kind of basis to compare this to, because I haven't read the books and I haven't seen any of the other adaptions, all I can say is I really enjoyed this one. I enjoy myself a good murder mystery, and I think some people might walk into this saying it's a little bit too much of a slow burn, because it definitely feels like you're, being read a book, we're slowly introduced to all the characters and their backstories, and you kind of get their motivations and why this person might do it. And then later on they all have to be interrogated, what room were you in when this happened at midnight, and where were you when this happened, and oh man, this door was locked, how did this person die? So it's definitely it is a book, right? So I can see some people kind of getting antsy and being oh god, this took them forever. But I don't know, guys, I was totally invested in this the whole way through. It definitely makes me want to go watch the other movies, and if there's other adaptions, I'm sure that 60s 70s era, I'm sure they did several of those, I know that for sure. So I need to go look at those and see, did they do different books, or are we adapting the same stories that the new ones are adapting? I don't know. But in any case, I don't know, I had a good time, because I'm walking into this completely fresh. I don't know who did it, and that's obviously the best way to walk into a murder mystery. It's hey, this is a brand new for you. The twists are gonna feel fresh, so I'm sure there's gonna be other people out there who are more knowledgeable about this series of books and this the past movie adaptions that have been made. So they might walk out of this saying oh, this was not nearly as good as the past ones, but again, because I don't have that basis, I had a really good time. Yeah, just it also, like, it kept reminding me of how, like, someone like me, I really enjoy the Scream movies, and I really enjoyed, like, when I was a kid growing up, I was really into, like, the Harry Potter movies, and it's because all of those are really they're just mystery stories, every Harry Potter book and every Scream movie, it's always like, well, who did it? Who's behind it? Who's doing this? Who's pulling the strings, and so to, like, those are like genre bending versions of this, really, like, this is your very classic who done it, like the Glass Onion and Knives Out movies are essentially not necessarily a parody. I wouldn't use the word parody, but they're definitely like kind of a play, like a modernized, more twisty, unexpected version of these classic stories like this one, so I would say definitely if you like, if you grew up with like Scream and Harry Potter, and if you like Glass Onion and Knives Out, this is definitely like, these Agatha Christie stories are the basis of your classic mysteries, and that's essentially where this all comes from, and why we kind of fell in love with those other franchises, because those were all kind of playing with this, so anyways, yeah, I had a good time. I thought this was pretty enjoyable. I definitely need to go check out the other stories now, because I liked this Perot guy. He's got weird quirks, and he's got like a funny accent, and he's got the silly mustache, and it's definitely got like that level of campiness to it, I guess, but you know what, I had a good time. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, if you've seen the other movies. Let me know what other mysteries. Of course, there's always the 80s movie Clue, which, based on the board game, but that movie had like multiple endings, so that was kind of fun. Let me know what other murder mystery movies that you enjoy, and I think this was a pretty good one to check out, especially if you've never heard the story before. It's all gonna feel very fresh. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.